people of Twig World, and good morning, afternoon, evening or night to you wherever you are in the world, and I hope you are having a great day. I'm having a fantastic day, thank you. It is raining like mad outside at this moment, which is why I'm not saying hello outside, but I do have some outdoor footage of my cats which I took yesterday, and this video is all about animal spirit guides and what they mean to us. We're going to do a 5-card reading from Stephen Farmer's Messages from Your Animal Guides, this deck, which I'm sure a lot of you know. If you don't know it, check it out. It's a very powerful deck, actually. Very strong visions in it, and it kind of points to the way our animal spirit guides are so important to us, and the amazing things that they can teach us. So yesterday, with that in mind, I took a walk. I usually take a drive, don't I? But I thought it'd be healthy and take a walk. So I went up the track following my cats. In fact, I would have gone wherever the cats led, really. And they led me up the track and they took me into quite an enchanted woods, which is right at the top of my lane just before it joins the main road. And we got some lovely shots in there. Really quite quick videos, actually, but I'll cut them in now. So, there you have it. That's where my cats took me yesterday. And animals do have this amazing connection to the universe, to the realms of spirit, whatever you want to call it, actually. But they are very strong connectors and they are very effective guides as well, because they have never been taught that any of this is crazy. We live in a world where those of us who consult oracles, consult the tarot, do mediumship, think about angels, whatever, we're all kind of seen as a little bit crazy, which is unfortunate because the real crazy people, if you ask me, are the ones who are missing out on all this because they don't believe in it. It's a great shame. If only people followed this stuff, they'd start believing it. And if you're watching this video, then you have been drawn towards this knowledge, and this is a wonderful thing. Maybe you've been aware of this for a long time. Maybe this is new to you. In any case, you know, I'm sure this is going to have something to offer you. Animal spirit guides and working with them goes right back to really the beginning of time, if you ask me. But the earliest thing that I really sort of know about for sure that's still in effect today was that the Romans used what they called bird augury to set up their towns and cities, and London in UK was originally a Roman city, and in the very beginning the Romans laid it out using bird augury, and that meant getting 5 chickens. I believe it was 5 or 7, but they would get chickens, they would release these chickens, and they would watch where the chickens went, and they'd have a particular intention, like where's a good place to put the bath, and they'd sort of ask the chickens, and they'd release the chickens, and they'd put the Roman baths wherever the chickens, or most of the chickens, went to. If all the chickens went there, it was a surefire thing. If 1 or 2 went there and others wandered in different directions, well, that was still the place, but they'd think some more about it. But very wise people, the Romans, really. We think of them as these incredibly sort of down-to-earth, almost moribund, you know, sort of bound up in the ways of the world people, and they were all about organising society and creating laws, all the kind of thing that people who don't believe in anything cosmic really do believe in, strangely. But like many of the ancient peoples, they understood the value of the magical side of things, and they knew the way that kind of goes together with the practical side of things. So amazing stuff. Let's turn the camera down on the table now, and we'll do a 5-card pick a card from Stephen Farmer's Messages from Your Animal Spirit Guides. Stephen Farmer was actually married to Doreen Virtue at one point, and she said a whole lot of stuff about how they were meant to be together for the rest of time, and then they got divorced. So there you go. But Doreen has made the odd wrong call in her life, I think. Don't want to criticise her too much for that, because I'm sure we all make the wrong calls sometimes. But anyway, enough about that. It's going to be a 5-card pick a card, friends. So start thinking to yourselves now, which card would you want to pick? 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5? Let's put the camera on the table and see what we get. So have you decided what you want to pick yet? We'll go this way. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. This will be the heart of the matter. It's no bad thing to choose all 5 cards, actually. Pick a card or pick all 5, or pick any combination of the cards that you want to pick. Okay? So I'll give you a second to do that. Trust your psychic senses, friends. You can pick a card. Even if this is the first sort of spiritual, sort of psychic video that you've ever watched, you can pick a card. And you'll see, you will pick something that means something to you. Happens all the time, happens every time. So what is card number 1, friends? Here we go. We'll turn this over. The Camel. Trust that you have the resources to get through the challenges before you. That's what it says down here, and that's pretty directive, really, isn't it? Let's take a closer look at the camel there. Okay, there is the camel, and a very resourceful animal, actually. The camel is all about finding a good direction. Not just finding the direction, but making sure you arrive there. Many of us in the world, the way it is today, and actually probably the way the world has always been, feel as if we're sort of going nowhere, as if we've got to keep going, but where are we going? And as I often say in my spiritual development videos, you've got to sort of enjoy the journey. You've got to make the most of the journey. But we're human, and we sort of need to have some idea of where we're going, and camels are very good at that. So the thing to do is sort of identify where you want to go, but be willing to take your time to proceed slowly and steadily with that. And that way you'll get closer to your objective with time. And as human beings, we are all subject to time, so it's important to give things plenty of time. As you're on the path, really, doubts and fears, that kind of thing will come up, and they'll make you hesitate. But just kind of give your concerns to the angels, I suppose. In terms of totem animals, we'd look at it the Native American way and say, give those things to the 4 winds, lift them up to the sun to be burned away. And that will put your heart and mind at ease, basically, and just keep focused on the idea that all is well. You don't see camels going around worrying about where they're going. They just go there in their own time. They're not terribly quick, but they go there in their own time, and that's why they're so popular in the cultures that actually use them, which is just about every culture where camels can actually live. So try and be at ease as much as you can, and of course call upon the spirits around you, because they've assisted you all through your life right to this point, and they know you've got what it takes. They know you'll get through this, and if you focus on them, you'll know that you'll get through whatever you're trying to get through at the moment. And every one of us, friends, is fighting some kind of battle trying to get ahead in the world. It's just the nature of life. It really is. So that is card number 1. It's the camel. Let's move to card number 2 now and see what we've got here. So we turn over card number 2, and it's the blue heron. Let me bring it up so you can take a closer look. I'm always trying to find the camera lens with these cards. It's not that easy, but I'm getting better at it, and that's the nature of life, isn't it? Now, Blue Heron is saying, make a stand for what you believe in and do what feels right in spite of any judgments or disapproval from others. And this is the great thing about working with spirit guides. They don't judge you, they don't show disapproval, they just point you in the right direction. And any forces, any energy which are kind of telling you what to do in a way that simply doesn't help, just, you're allowed to ignore them, basically. That's the thing to do. And make a stand for what you believe in. So it's all about really asking yourself where you're going. Where do you want to be in 5 years' time? That kind of thing. Doesn't have to be 5 years. You know what I mean? That's like a job interview question, isn't it? Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? But it's worth knowing, it's worth thinking about, actually, because it all brings the knowledge a lot closer. So where are you headed? Now, it may be that your choice of direction, your journey, is going in a direction that rubs against the grain of what everybody else sort of expects from you, in which case you're going to run into judgment, you're going to run into criticism. But the thing to do is be still, actually look around you, take a deep breath, because you will be doing fine, really, despite what anybody else thinks. In fact, actually, it's when you go against the grain a bit and other people start putting their 2 cents in and criticising you. We call it something else in UK. I had to think, what's the expression? Their 2 cents. We call it their 2 penneth, their 2 pennyworth. But people will put their 2 cents in, absolutely for sure they will. And when that starts happening, you're going in the right direction. When I was training in the Spiritualist Church, I'd really got tuned into my guides with the help of the Spiritualist Church. It was a wonderful thing, and I still work in Spiritualist churches to this day. I did a Zoom service about three nights ago, I think, which was great fun. But I did run into a lot of trouble, because as soon as I started doing what they told me, listening to my spirit guides and looking for the way ahead, trying to live that life the way my guides and the angels were showing me, I found that many of my teachers would say, that's not how it's done, people didn't used to do that in the 1950s and 60s. Well, that was the 1950s and 60s. Things are always changing. If you ever have satellite TV, or maybe you've got satellite internet, which I'd like to get one of these days so it doesn't keep dropping out, then you're using a satellite dish, and that satellite dish is moving very, very fast. It's in geostationary orbit. It will always be in the same place relative to your house, relative to your satellite dish, so it'll always work. But that's only because it's moving very, very fast to keep up with the Earth from all that way up there in space. And the spirit guides, the God energies, the universal truths, they're keeping up with this life all the time. They're moving fast to keep up with us. So although the wisdom never really changes, the way of applying that wisdom is changing all the time. So if you're a bit sort of out of the box and you seem a bit crazy to other people in terms of where you're going, and maybe you're even questioning yourself, don't question yourself, take some time out, just breathe deeply, and understand that you're being guided. All of us are being guided all the time. You might have to sort of really get your feet in the water. You might have to wade through other people's disapproval like that. But assert yourself whenever you can, wherever you need to, really. Just be as optimistic as possible, and that way you'll become clearer in your purpose. And that will take away any sort of problems of other people being cynical, other people maybe feeling sorry for you. That's something that happens quite a lot. Oh, if only that person, got a job working in a bank or insurance or something like that, instead of this kind of crazy psychic stuff. Well, that's just what they think. And they are most definitely wrong, or at least very much mistaken in that belief. Because all of this, it really matters. People sometimes say to me, how can anybody work out their life purpose from a deck of cards? And of course, as we know, it's not the cards exactly that have the answers. It's the guidance that leads the reader or the medium, or you yourself, if you're reading for yourself, nothing wrong with that. You will be drawn to the right cards. Simple as that. So there we have Blue Heron. And this brings us on to the heart of the matter, friends. What have we got in position number 3? Did you choose card number 3? In which case, it's this one. It's the cat. And if you watch my videos, well, even if you're watching this one, you'll know I'm very strongly guided by my cats. They're great friends, but they're also animal guides. They really are. And Cat says, it's time to strike out on your own and relinquish your over-dependency on others. And cats are very good like that. And this card tells us a lot about dependencies. We all have dependencies, and they have a lot to do with habits. Now, some of them are positive. For example, we all depend on getting some food, and goodness me, there are plenty of people in the world who don't have enough food, and that is really a problem. So we're all food addicts, and there's not really anything wrong with that. We do actually need to eat. We do need to actually drink, not necessarily alcohol, although I know some people use that in quite a healthy way. But, you can become over-dependent on some things, and very often that comes from habits. And what I'm sure we all know about is work-related habits. I try to have good habits, I get up at a certain time every day, and I do a certain amount of work on my channel. I set aside time to do private readings. And by the way, if you'd like a private reading, my email address is in the description down below under this video. It's 35and83@gmail.com. And so I set aside time to do readings. I don't want to compartmentalize my day too much. I don't want to sort of become a tarot reading droid or anything like that. But it's useful. It's a good habit to spend some time every day doing certain things. Sometimes working on the channel, like I just done a load of stuff about Google AdSense to make sure my monetization things work. Those are good habits. It's important not to let them take over, actually, because the most important thing is you and where you're going. Whatever work you're doing at the moment is going to lead on to somewhere else 10 years down the line, when maybe you're doing different work. Nothing wrong with that. Life is change, as I'm always saying. But the most familiar dependencies are probably coming out of those habits, and it can be more a habit than a conscious choice. So to really kind of put yourself at the center of your life, and there's nothing selfish about that. We're all kind of put in this world with a mission, with some kind of ministry, something that we can do better than other people, and we're here to do it, and we've got to do it, really, otherwise life won't feel great. So try and sort of be your own person and make your choices from a place within you where you're actually, seeing yourself as your own authority, because you have the ultimate power over yourself. You really do. Whatever governments and leaders try to tell you, you are the one who's got the authority over yourself. And if you accept total responsibility for the choices you make and the consequences of those choices, then you're going to be much more in control. And this card says it's a good time to think back over the people and the things that you might be a bit too dependent on, maybe out of habit. Just step back from those people, step back from those situations, think about where you yourself want to make adjustments, or maybe where you need to make adjustments. Maybe both of those go together. And actually, take notice of what comes to you and act on it, really. Set boundaries. That's a pretty good thing. Cats are pretty good at setting boundaries, actually, aren't they? And, excuse me. I know that, like me, many of you are cat lovers. This is definitely a cat-loving channel. So, you'll be aware that your cat will only kind of accept a certain amount of certain things from you. For example, Marcy just came in soaking wet and she wanted a cuddle. And I set a boundary because I didn't want to get soaking wet, and I made her wait a minute. And then after a bit of a cuddle, she went and jumped on the bed, and she's asleep on the bed now. And if I try to wake her up, she won't want anything to do with me. Cats set their own boundaries. This is what we can all learn from cats. So this is the heart of the matter, really. It's all about being yourself, and this is super important at the moment because we're just coming up to Lionsgate, in other words the 8th of August, when we have new moon in Leo. So we'll have Sun and Moon in Leo, and it's an important new moon this. It's like the beginning of a lot of astrological changes and stuff going on, maybe some stormy circumstances coming into being. But when you go through those storms, it makes you aware of these habits that you need to change. It's the wind of change blowing, basically, and it's about to start. If you'd like to know more about that, do check out my Pure Astrology channel for Astro Truth. Down in the description below is a link to that also. It's quite a new channel, so go over there, have a look, drop a thumbs up on it, and maybe even subscribe, because astrology is very closely linked to everything we do with tarot, with oracle, with psychic goings on. It's kind of the cosmic side of everyday life, astrology, and a very valuable thing. So hey, there we go. There is the cat, domestic. The domestic cat, and we'll turn over card number 4. Did you pick card number 4, my friends? Or is number 4 one of your cards? If you did, it's this one. Let's bring it up. Ladybug. This is the card, Ladybug, and Ladybug is saying to us, ooh, this is a time of good fortune and abundance, so be willing to receive all good things in your life. And there is a powerful message, actually. Good fortune and abundance. This is a time of it. Kind of hard to believe because of the way the world is, but the world can always offer us this. And if you pick this card particularly, then, you know, that time is coming into being for you, for sure. If you picked all 5 cards, this is your short-term future. So this is kind of a lion's gate in your own life, taking you forward. You could even say this is a powerful time for you. It's certainly auspicious, and you would, I'm sure, be finding at present that things tend to go pretty smoothly without a lot of effort on your part at the moment. Your thoughts manifest more quickly at times like this, so do look around you, you know, be observant. Ladybugs have to be really observant, not least because they're a small force in a big world, and isn't every human being a small force in a big world? Yet, some human beings can be a very powerful force for change, and you, my friends, can definitely be a very powerful force for change in your own life. Whatever you do, don't sort of first get to thinking about what you're missing, you know, what's lacking from your life, and keep reminding yourself of all the things in your life that are sort of good, you know, food, shelter, loved ones. There's always blessings in there, you know, there really is always a blessing in there somewhere. And I know some people really live very unfortunate, very unhappy lives. I'm not trying to take away from that at all, because that, you know, those are facts of life. But we've all got something going for us if only we can release it, if only we can bring it out. So this card is about asking for what you want, and just, you know, visualization comes into this here. Visualize, imagine that you already have what you want, you know. Then that way you get the feeling of what it's like to actually have that, and you can manifest it on a feelings level then, which is so much deeper than trying to manifest it in words. It really is. So basically, just, you know, ask, seek, knock. That's what the Bible says. Seek and ye shall find. That kind of thing. That's the biblical version of it. This is the Stephen Farmer Messages from Your Animal Spirit Guides version of it. And it's very, very true. So our animal, the ladybird, is leading you towards good fortune. And I'll say it again, friends. If you picked this card, this really is the time for you. Just if you were drawn to this reading, oh, I don't know what happened there. Well, I do, because I got an error message saying the camera had overheated, but it's not hot here. Goodness me, I hope that isn't the beginning of camera craziness. But anyway, Ladybug, a time of good fortune, a time of things flowing nice and smoothly in your life. So do ask for whatever you want, and know that you can actually manifest it, friends. You really, really can. Check out my manifestation playlist if you'd like to kind of find out more about that. But you've got it in you, you really have. So this brings us to card number 5, the outcome card. Okay, if you picked number 5, this is your card. If you picked all 5, this is your outcome. Let's see what we have. Mountain Goat. There is Mountain Goat, and Mountain Goat is saying, There's something out of balance in your life, so do whatever you need to do to correct it. Okay, this is interesting. Now, I don't want anybody to worry about this. This isn't anything to really get super concerned about, but it is important to actually do something about it if you possibly can. We all get fragmented from time to time. It's the way life goes. Things pull us in different directions all the time. I was reading for a lady last night on my live stream, and that was the message for her. You know, different things were pulling at the fabric of her dreams, sort of trying to pull her off her path. And she is actually a very steady mover in spiritual circles, and she's doing very well in her life journey, I'm sure. But other influences will try and knock you off balance if they can. This is why grounding is important. Video about grounding on my channel a couple of days ago. Check out the channel, you know, do hit the subscribe button actually, and you know, just have a look through. There's a great library in there about spiritual development. I try to share everything I know, if I possibly can. And a good way to rediscover that balance is to start with thinking about your actual physical health. You know, a healthy mind and body, a healthy body is all part of having a healthy mind, and a healthy mind is so important to making spiritual progress. It's a holistic kind of thing, you know. Don't let it worry you, but there'll be something you can identify in your body that you can probably correct quite easily just by a very small change of diet. Or maybe not even a change of diet, maybe just eating something a few times so that you kind of restore that balance. Take plenty of exercise if you can. I'm the world's worst for that, and it is a red flag for YouTubers actually. Because I know I only put out about 30 minutes a day, or maybe 90 minutes if it's a live video. But gosh, you know, I have to wait hours and hours sometimes because the internet drops out and then I can't upload anything. And I sort of have to be here waiting to find the internet coming back on so I can get uploading as soon as possible. So yeah, I have to be careful about that. I do exercise, but I should probably exercise more. This has got me thinking actually. But check out other areas of your life, you know, work, play, social life, solitude, giving, receiving. They're all polarities, they're all opposites that pull you in different directions. But the mountain goat is really quite sure-footed. Mountain goats can cling onto the side of mountains, even if it was that way round and it's going straight up the mountain. You know, mountain goats are good like that. All goats are sure-footed, but none more than the mountain goat. And that's the good news, because that's not just pointing to this possible imbalance that might be going on in your life. It's also telling you that you can do what it's telling you to do. You are more than capable. So just, you know, focus on pulling things together as well as you can, and you'll be more resilient, you'll be more determined, and your aspirations will become real, you know. Just kind of perseverance, I guess, is the key word there. That's what it's all about. So there is our 5-card Animals Guides spread. And there we are, friends. I really hope you've enjoyed this one. Don't forget to drop a like on it in the old thumbs up thing down below there, and do hit the subscribe button. There are more videos all the time, and check out the videos that are already up on my channel. There are hundreds and hundreds of them. I've been making videos for a very long time actually. Don't forget to join us for the live streams. At the moment they're going out at 3 p.m. Central USA time, that's 9 p.m. in UK, on Wednesdays and Sundays. Also high noon on Friday Central USA time, which is 6 p.m. in UK, and you know, it's that bit later in the day in Europe, but it's all at the same time. Those times might change a little bit. I'm looking into that at the moment, but that's where we're at. So if you're watching this on the day it comes out, I will actually be here Friday, 12 noon Central, 6 p.m. UK time. And if you come into the live chat, then I can pull a card especially for you. And that's where things get nice and kind of accurate, and it gets up close and personal. It's kind of real good, energetic thing, and there's always lovely energy in the chat room as well. Actually, we've got some great esoteric people here, skilled healers, you know, skilled readers come into the chat on my videos. So do join us. It's going to be fun. If you'd like to support me in my work, there are links down there for my Ko-fi page, ko-fi.com/twig, and a direct link to my PayPal, which is paypal.me/twig brother. Also, as I said before, my email is down there, 35and83@gmail.com. It's all down in the description down there, folks, so check it out, check out the channel, have a fantastic time ahead, and be good to each other, my friends. Thanks so much for watching. Love to you, light to you, blessings to you, and of course, peace.